Samurai Kaizen presents Functional Groups and Chemistry. We start with the simplest of all, which are alkanes. Alkane is just with a single bond, just one bond per carbon. The next one is an alkene, where instead of a single bond, now we have double bond. And here there is a little situation in regards to the symmetry, to the geometry, where we have two variants. There could be either a cis, also called with another nomenclature, what's called with a Z, or with a trans, or also called as E. So in here you can have cis-2-butene, or Z2-butene, or trans-2-butene, and E2-butene. The one that holds the triple bond is called alkyne. Alkyne. How names change according to number of bonds. This is a really simple example, but for example, we have that if the carbon chain is of 2, then the alkane would be ethane, ethene, and ethine. You notice the subtle difference here? Instead of here you have an E, here you have an E, and here you have a Y. Okay, so those are the differences. I'm not delving on all the names, like going from 10 to 10, from 2 to 10, from 2 to 20 carbons, because that's information that you can check and that you could have known already from your previous organic chemistry courses. What I'm focusing on right now only is in how to pronounce them. Once again, propane, propene, propine, butane, butene, butine, pentane, pentene, pentine, hexane, hexene, hexine. You get it? Okay, let's move on. Now we go with the functional groups. This is alcohol, and this is ethanol, an example of it. Ether, and this is an example, which is the dimethyl ether. Dimethyl ether. Dimethyl ether. This is an epoxide. In this case, we have two examples, like this one, which is a ethene oxide, and this is a 3-heptene oxide. 3-heptene oxide. And then we have these other ones, which are the alkyl halide, or also called haloalkanes. Here we have 3 examples of them. This is a dichloroethane, this is a chlorobutane, and this is a dichloromethane. In this case, we have an aldehyde, where we have also 3 examples, which is the methanol, ethanol, and propanol. In this case, we have a ketone. For example, this is the most common of all, which is named acetone, but also it can have this other nomenclatures as dimethyl ketone or 2-propane. This one is methyl ethyl ketone, because this is methyl ethyl, so it's methyl ethyl ketone. Abbreviation will be methyl ethyl ketone, MEK, or also called 2-butanone, 2-propanone, 2-butanone, and this is benzophenone and diphenyl ketone, wherever you prefer to call it. This is the carboxylic acid. An example of this is the 1-cyclohexene 1-carboxylic acid. 1-cyclohexene 1-carboxylic acid. This is an ester, a salt, an organic salt. And here we didn't have the examples in English, but well, you can still call them. For example, this would be the ethanoate of methyl, or better called the ethyl methanoate, and this would be called as 2-bromine 4-methylpentanoate of ethyl, which you don't say that way. You would better say ethyl 2-bromine 4-methylpentanoate. Okay? This exercise also helps you to translate them from Spanish to English. Acid anhydride. And an example of it is the ethanoic anhydride. Okay, you get it? Let's repeat it once again. Anhydride. Acid anhydride. Acid anhydride. Good. Next, this is an amide, which the most common example is acetamide. Amide. Then we go with acyl halide. And we have some examples as malonyl dibromide, heptandioyl dichloride, terephthaloyl dichloride, cyclohexane carbonyl chloride, and so. Next one is amine. I know that it's kind of weird that it has this pronunciation. You would expect more like amine, but you can check through all the internet and through many different references and dictionaries, and the right pronunciation is amine, amine, amine. And you can see it in examples as ethylamine and aniline. We go with the carboxylic acid. An example of it is the butyric acid, as we see in the picture. Next one, nitrile, nitrile, nitrile. And you can see it in the example as benzene carbonitrile. Isocyanate, as in 2-fluorophenylisocyanate. This one, give me your guess. How do you think it's pronounced? Imine, imine, okay? This is imine. And how do you read this structure from this example? This would be N-methylbenzaldamine. Next one, N-methyl-1-phenylmethamine. Azo compounds. And we have the following example, which is the p-hydroazobenzene, also called in the case of the Purdue pack name as 4-phenyldiazenylphenol. Or also with extended stereochemistry specifications would be called as 4-E-phenyldiazenylphenol. Okay, and well, we have the common name in the UPAC. UPAC being the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. And this is a try to guess, how would you read this one? Try to make your guess. Okay, the right answer is thiol. Thiol. Here an example, 3-methylbutane-1-thiol. 3-methyl-1-butane-thiol. Or isoamyl mercaptan. There's also, a little nomenclature in regards to mercapta, where this thiol, where this thiol or certain sulfuric compounds are related to. And well, in here there are some examples of how to read certain, some examples of the most common species according to the number of carbons they have and their corresponding functional groups. For example, if you have a chain of 3 carbons, that's going to be, for an alcohol, an example of it would be 1-propanol. If you have 3 carbons in ether, an example of them would be ethyl methyl ether. For epoxide, propylene oxide. For haloalkene, alkane would be 1-chloropropane, propanol, acetone, propanoic acid, methyl acetate, propanamide, propylamine. I mean, the point of this is that you could stop the video and try to practice reading some of these examples. Quick quiz. Okay, try to remember what we saw throughout this class. And tell me, how are they called, these functional groups? This is the answers. amide, and amine. Next, now this time once again, remember the class we just had today and tell me which are the functional groups. These are the answers. Anhydride, ether. Anhydride, ether. Anhydride, and ether. Now I suggest you to read along the following species so that you can practice your pronunciation and ability to read them along. The first one is ethanamide. Ethanamide. The next one is butanol. Butanol. Methyl benzylate. Methyl benzylate. Ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid. And the last one, okay, I just gotta check in here. This is an amine, so you gotta read at the end as amine. N-methyl-1-phenylmethanimine. N-methyl-1-phenylmethanimine. Okay, got it, cool. So just keep practicing. I know it might be kind of hard to read them all along, but these are chemical names. They're not even easy to say in Spanish or in any other language. So just keep on practicing. This is Samurai Kaizen. That's it. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you have any questions. This is Samurai Kaizen. See you in the next one.